welcome back to the channel everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Phil, and on today's video we're going to show you what seeds Ben is starting at the allotment at the end of March. Stay tuned. Cabbages next, everyone.
I do, again, this is a bit of an early sowing, but I do sort of successionally sow anyway.
You're not doing them in cells?
No, part of that is space. And I have this bad habit that whenever I use a module tray, I have to fill the tray up.
Yeah. So
if I have a 24 cell tray, I end up 24 cabbages, which is just stupid. But I do them like this as well, because potting on is very important. And it's one thing that, to be honest, took me years to sort of realise the importance of it. It's always one of them jobs, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But when you actually do, that's quite a lot of seeds in there. But
how many seeds do you reckon you've put in that little tray?
There was probably 20 in there. But
okay.
I give a lot of plants.
So you let them germinate and then you prick them out, do you?
Yeah, I prick them out.
Prick them out.
It just saves space, and doing it that way as well, then I will put them into a module tray. And then I can guarantee the module tray is full, but I can also mix and match. So I can put multiple plants in one. Bury the seed, double the depth of the seed. So these seeds are about a mil and a half. Very small. So just a very fine scattering over.
Round as well. All brassicas are quite round, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Again, don't want too many.
I reckon beetroot seeds are the funkiest ones.
Yeah. Or marigold seeds. They're very
I've
strange.
not seen them.
Yeah, they're very, very strange.
So that's your cabbage. You just sprinkle them on the top.
Yeah, just like I say, like dusting.
Like dusting.
That.
You're doing my cabbages for me, aren't you? So
I am,
yes.
I am doing extras. But again, it's never a bad thing to give plants away, is it?
Take a lot of space. That's one thing I've noticed in my beds, like 4 for half a bed.
Yeah, but you are better off spacing them correctly. There are some things you can get away with a bit closer. Like I do plant my sweet corn closer than they recommend.
Yep.
I've never had a problem. And if you drive past a farmer's field, you see how close they put them. So
20-ish again?
Yeah. But you always get the odd seedling that just doesn't seem to grow as well as the rest. So I always find if you need 6 plants, just put 12 in. I mean, in here, there's 800 seeds.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting them. They will last probably 3 or 4 years. It says on here 2027. I've planted seeds way past their expiry date, and just put more in. If they're old seeds and you know they're old, just plant twice the amount, because it doesn't matter. You're not wasting them.
What was that, for germination reasons? They might.
Yeah, they don't just stop germinating. They don't know they're out of date. So yeah, just plant them and see what you get. If nothing comes up, then put them in the bin.
So we've just planted cabbage Brunswick, cabbage Savoy Virtus, and cabbage Mammoth Red Rock.
Yeah.
We'll let you know how these get on along the way.
Once I've potted on, again, I do like watering from the bottom.
Okay.
So I've just got a little bench out here. This is the dip tank.
So this little bench, this is your little dip tank, is it?
Yeah,
it's basically a tray full of water. And obviously, because these are quite fine and they're only covered lightly, he doesn't want to use that watering can, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
On the top, chuck all the soil out.
But it just really saturates them, and then you haven't really got to worry about them for a good week.
No worries. Right, what else are we going to do, Ben?
Believe it or not, I'm planting more tomatoes now.
Okay.
106 isn't quite enough.
Right. We'll be right back when we're ready.
These are my tomatoes. These are an outdoor variety. They're called Heinz. I believe that is the ones they use for.
I grew these last year.
Yeah.
These were amazing.
I've not really done a lot with outdoor tomatoes because I have polytunnels and whatnot. But these were, I mean, they really were good.
I like the seed packets. Where'd you get them from?
These are from Premier Seeds Direct.
Premier Seeds Direct. Okay.
I find they're really cheap. They deliver fast. But I do use Nikki's Nursery and Simply Seed. Simply Seed's a good one for potatoes and onion sets if you plant from onions.
I quite like Simply Seeds and Suttons. You ever use Suttons?
I have done. I just find
They were good. I thought.
Yeah, no,
really
the
quick.
seeds, they're all going to germinate, but they're just, it's something like £1.50 a pack.
Does it have all the information on how far apart these need to go and stuff?
No, that is the only problem with them. I do prefer sort of a picture pack.
Yeah.
But it's the cost.
Yeah.
Right? But it's fine. Like with flowers, I think it's a bit more important, especially for me because I'm not too good on the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
But with things like that, you know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't really think you need a picture.
Right, show us what you do then. So you got a bigger tray this time.
Yeah.
Twice the size of those little ones.
Yeah, with the tomatoes, again, I will prick them out when they're an appropriate size. But they just want a little bit more space than the cabbages do.
Yeah.
But these trees, I actually really do like these trees.
Where'd you get them from?
I actually bought these in a garden centre. Stuart, yeah. But again, they're not as sturdy as the Garland ones, but they are still better, and they weren't actually too expensive.
Well, these are funny looking seeds. You can actually see these on the camera now.
Just scatter them in.
So you're just scattering them, trying to get them a little bit spaced apart to make pricking out easier, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but do you want any of these?
Yeah, chuck a couple in, mate, like you say. Not going to hurt to have some extra, some redundancy if things go a bit wrong with the slugs and stuff. Well, they didn't really like tomatoes, did they, slugs, or...?
I've not had much tomato slug damage on tomatoes, but I do, as of a couple of years ago, I get a green caterpillar. Big green caterpillar, about that big.
Yeah. And
it just takes chunks out the tomato. Doesn't seem to eat the foliage, just the tomatoes.
Hopefully eats the rotten ones.
Yeah, but I don't mind them too much. Any of the damaged tomatoes go straight in with the chickens, and because they're a big caterpillar, I just pick them out and they go in the chickens.
Originally grub.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, again, very fine scattering. I do tend to tamp down. I just find it, if you leave it all fluffy, it does dry out a bit faster.
Yeah.
So if you just tamp it down a little bit.
Is that just a light pressure?
It just settles it in. It's just obviously if it's loose, it's just more air can get around it, or you do that, it's quite flat. It doesn't tend to dry out as much.
So when you water these then,
need a label.
Yeah, when you water these, Ben, do they just go straight on that bench outside as well, the same as the other ones?
Yeah, I tend to do everything. I only watered the other thing with a can, my sweet corns, because that tray doesn't have any holes in the bottom.
Right. Nice. So we're going to get a label written out. We're going to get this on the bench to sit in some water for 10 minutes, and then it'll be going in its final position. Be right back. Alright, so we just popped the tomatoes that we've sown, and I wanted to show you the glisten on the top of this compost. And that tells us that the compost is absorbed all the way to the top. So there's no more moisture can be held within that compost. So now they need to be taken out and put somewhere to drain. And we'll come right back. This one's just gone in, so he's going to take a little while to get to that point as well. Let's have a look at some of these ones. This is sweet corn that we've done. No label because it's only got one of these tubs. Some more cabbages. These are obviously glistening, so they're got enough moisture.